The way most of you are selling right now, it's old school. It's too slow and it's antiquated. A lot of you out there are using the outdated outside sales model, right? Where you're just using field visits to create revenue. We're going to look at things a lot differently. We're going to leverage technology. Think about this, right? I'm preaching all over the world through these mediums now. You can do the same thing. We're going to be using the telephone to set qualified appointments so you're in front of the right decision makers at the right time, not wasting your time or theirs. And then we're going to use face-to-face meetings. Still going to be a part of this. In the future, we'll be adopting things like virtual reality, but that's for another day. So what are the factors that are driving change in the marketplace today? And specifically in healthcare, we're seeing this, but we're also seeing it outside of healthcare. What are the factors of change and why you need to adapt your sales process to the change? Well, the first thing is time, right? Think about it. Who out there has more time than you need? Who here has just extra time? Oh man, I'm so much free time. Or who here is just so bogged down, got every second of every day planned, and you're off working, you're off with the kids, you're off doing this and that, the business is pulling you 15 different directions, you're reacting to crisis. We all don't have enough time. And your customers are in the same boat. So no longer the days of playing golf with your customer. Sometimes that can happen, but today it's a rarity. Right? Before that might be every Friday you go play golf with a customer. Not anymore. People don't have the time like they used to. So your process needs to be time sensitive for your customer. They only have time for what is important and what's interesting to them. The second thing that your sales process needs to address is margin decline. Right? Whose margins are going up? Anybody's? Right? Most margin is coming down. Look at my friends that are on the line with the home medical equipment business. That business has shrunk by 70%, the profit margin. Crazy. The manufacturing folks with the taxes that are going on with taxing medical devices. Everything, the margins are shrinking. And there's no business that can afford to operate the same way with the same model, putting the same number of feet on the street, the same number of visits, in the car, in the air. It does not work. It's a broken model. And just like I just passed Toys R Us the other day. Okay, remember Toys R Us? That was the model. That was a brand. They are filing Chapter 11. Why? They didn't adapt to the changing times. So when you see your margins declining, you got to fit a sales process that fits that market, but also takes care of the customer. And we'll be talking about that. The other thing that obvious you need to address is the field sales force. For those of you that are field salespeople, you're costing more money every day. Between gas and tolls and parking and flights and hotels and T&E and meals. You take an average cost of a field visit, and depending upon whether you're a local business or a national business, whether you're covering a small territory or a region or national account, you all have different priorities and different levels of responsibility. Your average call ranges between $300 and several $1,000s per sales call. Well, you cannot go on a sales call unless it's sales ready. You can't show up unannounced, not understanding where they are in the buy process, whether in the evaluation process. You can't go there and just check in. I'm just checking in. You need to have an agenda. You need to have a reason, and a reason for the customer to bring value to the customer. I can't tell you how many reps call on me and they go, I'm just calling to check in, Mike. Well, gee, thanks. All right? You got to stop that nonsense. We are here as professional salespeople. The way you succeed is to educate your marketplace and solve problems on their most critical issues. And that's what a sales call is, right? When you do it that way and you're educating and you're solving problems, everybody in the world's going to want to see you. But you go out there and you're trying to push product, or you're trying to push solutions, you're trying to check in, or whatever the hell you're doing, it's got to stop. The other thing we need to address with our sales process is changing communication preferences. Everybody likes to communicate differently. Some people still do like face-to-face. Well, for those people that like face-to-face, they better warrant the sales volume and have the potential to buy a lot from you if you're going to go see them, and they better be in the market. But a lot of the younger generation, they like technology. They like this webinar stuff. So do I. They like the phone. They like different methods. They like texting. The girl that cut my hair, she broke up with her boyfriend on a text in between my haircut. In my day, that would be like, what are you, nuts? Today, that's the way people do things. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. What I'm saying is that communication is changing. And for us, a lot of these sales programs, they're not addressing that. They're still talking about, this is how you shake a hand, firm handshake. Come on. We have to adapt. And the last thing we have to account for in our sales process, which we will in this process, is the increased customer demand for responsiveness. All right? It's a long way of saying we want what we want when we want it. I want a book. I get one. I want music. I get one. I want to watch a movie. I get one. We're used to, and we are in an instantaneous society. So we need to deliver answers, presentations, white papers, videos, whatever they want, we need to deliver it to them when they want it. And so these are all the factors. When you're thinking about selling to your market, you need to be thinking about how are you factoring in your sales process these specific factors and how are you adapting, because if you don't adapt, you're going to end up like Toys R Us, like Lehman Brothers, like Blockbuster, and I can go on about the brands that are no longer around today.